Hi, welcome back to Kath's Kitchen. We are continuing with our Christmas theme. So I'm going to show you some Christmas themed desserts so that when your dinner ends, your party doesn't end. You can continue to party. So to start with, we're going to do trifle. The reason I'm starting with trifle is that the jelly needs to set. So I'm going to show you what I'm using for trifle. So I started making many desserts which I've been doing for quite a few years, and they are success because whatever people want, they can just pick one dessert and the rest stays nice and clean. So I've got some fresh raspberry which I popped in the freezer for a little bit to make them chill. So they're a little frozen. I'm going to use some finger sponge, custard and some jelly which I've mixed up with 570 ml of hot water. So it's now room temperature and it's one block of jelly. You can use your own gelatin sheets and use the fruits you want to use for flavoring. Okay, so first of all we are going to place some raspberry at the bottom of our cups. By the way, these cups you can find online anywhere. They're very handy. Once your desserts are over, you have no more washing up to do. Of a finger sponge on each cup. Just need to leave them in the fridge to set, and then I will show you how I put the custard on top. So we are just going to put this back in the fridge, and in the meantime I will show you how to do my pear chocolate sponge. It's delicious. And once I didn't have any pears, so what I used, I went into garden, got my zucchini, blended that and used it, and it was so much fun because once the cake was done, everyone was asking me what the secret ingredient is because the sponge came out so delicious, so moist and so soft. And then I heard people saying, if you tell me the secret ingredients, I will give you £10. So that was so much fun. So I'm just going to show you how that cake is made. Okay, so now we're back and I'm going to show you how to do the pear chocolate cake. And it's very decadent, beautiful, and it melts in the mouth. And it's a must for Christmas. So what I'm going to do, the wet ingredients will go in the blender. There's no mixing. All you do is just quick mix with a spoon and that's it. It's the easiest chocolate cake you can ever make. And it's very impressive. So I'm going to put these pears, 2 small pears I have, and they need to be ripe. So they go in the blender. Along with that, 420 ml of strong coffee, 120 ml of full fat milk, 120 ml of corn oil, vegetable oil, or you can use light olive oil, but this is vegetable oil. Then we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I need some brandy, and then 2 large eggs. And then I'm going to mix a couple of glugs of brandy in there. That's it. That's just for flavoring. And then we'll just give it a quick whiz. Then for our dry ingredients, I'm going to save our sugar so that there's no lumps and bumps. So sugar was supposed to be 350 grams, but I've only used 250. I've minus 100, so it's less sugar. Then it's 75 grams of cocoa powder. It's 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of soda, half a teaspoon of salt. Last thing is 260 grams of flour. So that's all done. It's simple as that. So I've mixed all the ingredients up. The dry ingredients have been mixing well. All I need to do now is just mix these wet ingredients. It's quite a wet cake, but it's very nice. So that's all to it. Now we're going to bake it on electric oven, 180°C for 35 to 40 minutes. Then just do a skewer test and see it's cooked through, but 40 minutes is sufficient. Just going to butter this pan. You can use brush if you want to, but I prefer to use my fingers because it just evenly spreads. So I've cut this paper just a little bit long so that it just stand over on the sides. So when the cake is done, although the pan is non-stick, but this will help lift the cake out very quickly and easily. So now we're just going to bake it 180°C for 40 minutes. Okay, so our chocolate cake is baking for 40 minutes. While that bakes, I'm going to show you how to do a really beautiful chocolate mousse. So there's 2 alternatives. You can either use brandy, which I'm going to use, and if you don't want to use brandy, you can use essence, which is Prosecco flavoring. So you can use this or you can use this. So to start with, we're going to melt 80 grams of dark fine chocolate, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of brandy, 5 tablespoons of water, pinch of salt, and 1 espresso, which I'm going to make in a minute, and then 1 cup of double cream. So let's go and melt everything. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 cup of cream, 80 grams of fine dark chocolate, brandy, some water, cocoa powder, and pinch of salt. Last but not least, hot strong espresso. So it's gently simmering over hot water. Right, so our cake is still baking and our chocolate mixture is melted and mixed up really beautifully with brandy and cream. Cream needs to be 100 mils. It's about this cup. So yeah, so that's been melting now, and in the meantime I'm going to beat 2 egg whites and 2 egg yolks. So to mix them I need 1.5 teaspoon of sugar in there, and same for the yolks, 1.5, and then pinch of salt only in egg whites. And now we're going to beat them. It's like soft peaks. So the reason I did the egg whites first, because I didn't want egg yolk to be mixed in there. So I'm going to bring the melted chocolate mixture, and then I'll fold in the egg yolks, and then in the end I will fold in the egg whites. So our chocolate, brandy, water, cocoa powder, and cream has melted really nicely well, and it's just warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix egg yolks half at a time. Now our egg white. So our last mix, I'll just use the electric beater so that it's all nice and smooth and there's no surprises in our cake. This dessert needs to chill in the fridge for a couple of hours, and when it's ready we can serve. I will show you how I'm going to serve it. So we're going to use our shot glasses again, and we'll save up our washing again. So then I will pour my mixture into jug. So there we have it. So these little chocolate mousses are absolutely delicious. I've used brandy to flavor them. You can use orange to make orange chocolate, or you can use prosecco flavoring, or just simply vanilla. So it's entirely up to you, but I have made strong brandy chocolate mousses. They need to be chilling in the fridge for a couple of hours. Once they chill, they will set nicely, and then you can eat them. You can eat them on their own, or you can put some cream on top, anyhow you want them. So our cake has been cooking and it's come out, it's still hot. And to cover it, I've got chocolate ganache, which I made with butter, double cream, and plain chocolate, dark chocolate. Sometime I think you can buy it ready-made ganache as well, but it's so easy to make. Just like I melted the chocolate for our chocolate mousse, you just melt lots of chocolate with cream and butter, and it will make a lovely ganache. And then I'm just covering it on the hot cake, and it will start to melt. And then I'll show you, you can either serve this cake as it is, or you can cut a little bit and make chocolate trifle with this. So I will show you all the options. This is just melting beautifully. I'm going to leave you on side while I show you how to make your chocolate trifle using this cake. We've shown you 3 of our 5 desserts. We made chocolate cake, chocolate mousse, and trifle. And now I'm going to show you how to make panettone bread and butter pudding. So I'm purposely using a small panettone, but you can use a large one and double the mixture. So what we will do, slice this panettone. It's an Italian Christmas cake, absolutely delicious, my favorite. I even have it for Christmas breakfast sometime. Just toast it and use Lepak butter on it. Oh my word. So I have 300 mils of full fat milk, 3 free-range eggs. So I'm going to beat these eggs. Very simple and easy dessert. Make it in one big dish, or you can do individual, which I prefer. Our eggs are nicely beaten. To that I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of sugar. You can also use brioche buns for this as well. So leave it for a couple of minutes. Soak up all the milk and egg. So bread has soaked up the milk and egg and sugar. So now we will just dish it up nicely there. So our bread and butter pudding with panettone is ready to go in the oven. Our oven has been heating on preheated 200C. I'm going to turn it down to 180, and I'm going to cook these for about 35 to 40 minutes. To do that, I need to add some boiling water to the pan, so the custard in this pudding will set really, really nicely. Okay, so ready to bake. Okay, so we've done 4 out of 5 desserts already. This is our 5th one, and then we will finish off with the trifle topping with the cream and custard and some nuts. But right now I'm going to show you how to make cheesecake. So to make our cheesecake, I've got 10 digestive biscuits, and our American viewers call it graham crackers, and in that we have 45 grams of butter. So I'm just going to blend it and then lightly roast it in the frying pan, and then I will blend together 2 tubs of mascarpone and 1 tub of double cream, and with a bit of vanilla essence. We're going to lightly toast our biscuits and butter before we make a base for our cheesecake. You have to be careful because then if it gets too warm, the biscuits will start to burn. So just don't leave them alone, keep an eye on them. Okay, so this base is very warm. I'm going to turn this off and continue to mix it. Because if I leave the heat on, it will start to burn. Okay, so we've toasted our biscuits in butter, slightly toasted, and they smell incredible. And now I'm going to mix 2 tubs of mascarpone, 1 tub of double cream, just a drop of vanilla, and 4 tablespoons of icing sugar, which I'm going to sift. And now we will beat everything together. To that, I'm going to add our cream. So 1 year I had to make about hundreds and literally hundreds of these cheesecakes. So it was taking me quite a while to make them. So I asked my son-in-law to come and help me. So because I was spooning them and pressing them with spoon, just like that, to try and make them press down a little bit. I'll show you what he did. It literally take a few minutes to do this, and I thought, why didn't I think of this? So that is what he did. How smart is that? Thanks, Roy. So this is our cream cheese mixture with fresh cream and cheese and sugar and vanilla. To make them look all pretty up, I'm going to use blueberries. You can make your own caramel sauce. You can use any fruit you want. You can even chop up strawberries and place those on top. So our dessert table is ready. We made chocolate mousse, panettone bread and butter pudding, cheesecake with blueberries, and I'm going to pour a little bit of jam which I warmed. Then our raspberry trifles, which I'm going to complete now by pouring some custard and some cream on top, and I'll decorate it with raspberries. And then I have a little surprise dessert, which is an addition to our dessert table. So now I'm going to whip some cream to pour on top of this for mini trifles. So it's just soft bake, not too hard, because I'm going to pipe it on top of these mini trifles. Okay, so I'm just going to pipe the cream on our mini trifles. So decorate it with frozen raspberries. Okay, so our trifles are ready. Just need to pour a little bit of jam on top of our blueberry cheesecakes. Okay, so there we have it, our blueberry cheesecake, panettone, bread and butter pudding, raspberry trifles, chocolate mousse, and pear and chocolate cake. And I have a little surprise tucked up for you, which I'm going to show you as additional dessert. So these are the offcuts of that cake, bit of ganache from the cake, and then I'm going to put mini magnum on it, lightly whipped cream, and then to finish off. Thank you so much for watching Kath's Kitchen this week. I've made some incredible desserts. We did trifle, cheesecake, panettone bread and butter pudding, and then we did some mousse. We did pear and chocolate cake, which is absolutely incredible. And then that was a little delight for us that I made chocolate trifle. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time from Kath's Kitchen, see you then.